You gotta share with me until I come to it. Okay, I'll call the board meeting to order.
There's my number.
Okay, I gotta get to the agenda, Joy, next. Y'all give me a minute. I'm out of sorts, so give me a minute. All right. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. Can I get Mr. Zeckman to lead us in the pledge?
Everyone stand, please.
That's up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Or approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now I'm ready. Next up is recognitions. What have we got?
I think we have one very special recognition that probably you and I both can recognize. And
Oh,
if you-
Jacob.
Yep, and if you'd like to read that, and
Wow.
Jacob, if you'd like to come on up,
Wow.
we would definitely like to recognize you for this.
In recognition to Jacob Dodd for 13 years of perfect attendance.
Wow.
For the Warren County School System. Congratulations, Mr. Dodd.
Yeah, we probably need to get a picture, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you all want to get a
I'm too
picture.
short, so you Jacob on your knees.
Speech.
I don't know how Mom
Okay.
got you there, even on those
Yeah,
days
we
that you
need
were
to
sick
go
and that
right
kind
here.
of thing.
Let me get one. I wasn't really sick. I decided.
Jacob, give us a little update on what you've been doing.
Yeah.
I know you've been doing.
Done. You get one more. One.
Very
So
good.
what you been up to, Jacob?
Well, I have been, after school ended, I went to 4-H camp and was a team leader there. And then after that, I've been doing different things like reffing for the TWSWA and basketball, and then house sitting some days, and then DJing because I own my own business for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then tomorrow I will be going to register at my college, which is Bethel University.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I'm spending the night. And then after that, there's soccer camp for the university that I'm playing soccer for. And then I'm studying athletic training there. And then I'll also be in Rotaract and hopefully help start a 4-H club there.
Awesome. That's great.
good.
Jacob
Very
has
good.
always been one of our top achieving, multi-talented, really multi-purpose students, so we're very proud of him. Molly, you got a high bar that's been set for you here.
So we want to definitely congratulate you.
Well, thank
13
you.
years of
Yeah.
perfect attendance is a feat that's not many equal. So,
Yeah, I know.
And it's hard to
It's
achieve
one of those-
1 year.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when you get into the school system and you get around other kids that are sick and you get sick and you're struggling, you still go, that's great.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you making that happen. Appreciate your parents for
Yeah, that's a
helping make that
positive
happen.
reflection
So,
on parents.
you know, we wanted to recognize you for that. And hopefully now you'll have, what, 4 years, 5 years of
Yeah.
perfect attendance in
Yeah,
college.
hopefully.
So there you go.
That's got to have that self-
always go to
self-determination
class.
get-
There you go.
Well, thank you. I
Very
appreciate
good,
it.
Jacob. Very good.
Okay. Well, we'll get there in a minute, guys. Okay, we got it. Next up is operations report by Mr. Cox, and that is on page
36.
36.
Mhm.
Okay.
I have just a small, short operations report this evening. There is a job description. I want to try to explain that just a little bit, that it's a draft and probably need to get the board's approval on that. But in all of our schools, we have, of course, in our elementary schools, we have one principal, We have an instructional coordinator that works directly with teachers, more like an instructional coach than anything else. And they don't operate as an assistant principal. They operate as more of a teacher. And they work with teachers, and they do, you know, evaluations. They do help out with testing and do a lot of things along those lines. At the middle school, this summer, Mr. Tidwell came to me and said he would like to kind of restructure a little bit what they do at the middle school, since it's a little bit larger school. And he wanted to create what he termed as a dean of students. The same, some schools do this in Murfreesboro. They've started to kind of move that direction. He wanted his assistant principals to handle more of the instructional things that go on in the building, you know, teacher evaluation, etc., and not really have the instructional coordinator position, but to kind of restructure some job duties. The dean of students would be more of a discipline capacity, where they would work on discipline. They would work with special needs of students. They would work with at-risk students. And this would be just a teaching position. It'd be 10 months. It's not a supplemented position. As you can see, you know, they would have some disciplinary things that they would have to do, such as assigning discipline, suspending students, things of that type. So in the qualifications, they would still have to have the qualifications of an assistant principal. They would have to have a license, administrative license. They'd have to have a master's degree in administration. So that position, if approved, would be posted, be interviewed for, and he would restructure what he was doing there. Would not have an instructional coordinator. We have a dean of students, so we're not adding any positions, not taking any positions away, just restructuring what those teachers and assistant principals would be doing. So, just have any questions about that?
Then is somebody within his building is gonna be the instructional coordinator?
No, they
So
wouldn't.
he's not gonna have one at all?
Wouldn't have one at all. Wouldn't have one at all. The two assistant principals would take on the role of instructional coordinator and the duties there. So yeah, so would not have an instructional coordinator at all.
How does this figure in dean of students in the graduation coaching? I mean, what Carl and people like this?
Well, they would work with Carl, probably be the first line of defense, you know, at the middle school to identify students that had problems that were at risk. You know, would work with Carl. We've already got a plan for Carl to get into all of the elementary schools. Met with him yesterday. You know, this person, whoever that is going to be, would be the person who's going to see a lot of those at-risk students already, and hopefully try to develop a plan for them to be successful. They would handle the majority of the discipline over there. So obviously sometimes students who get in trouble periodically or ongoing are more at risk. So they would see them and kind of build a relationship with them.
So I would assume that identifying these at-risk factors early, and this is what this does, puts more emphasis on that at the middle school.
Right. That's kind of the goal that he wanted to, you know, pursue. Like I said, we did solicit some information from Rutherford County. They have some of their schools that do that. You know, and it's just an idea that he felt would be good for his school, and he feels like his assistant principals, you know, already have a good grasp of the academic load over there, and that would take the discipline load off of them, and they could spend more time working academically with teachers, and then this person could work with students more.
Thank you.
So you need a motion to approve the job description for Dean of Students. Do I
Right.
have a motion to approve the job description?
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed?
Thank you. We'll try to get that process started. Our 90% reading goal, Autumn is actually out of town this evening. She's at a reading in service. You know, the data, we don't have any of our new data back in yet from state testing. That'll be coming in throughout the summer. But the sign in the back of the room here are some new signs that we have received from the Reading Foundation. And those signs will start going up in our community, which, you know, reads have you read to your child today, and Stop Summer Reading slide. If you go by the library, they're already up at the library. And then we've got some other books and things that are coming in from the foundation that we'll be giving away, free books periodically to students and children in the community throughout the summer. And our libraries are open periodically throughout the summer so that students can come in and get AR books and kind of get ahead of that game. So we're continuing to work on that. So hopefully next month we'll have a little bit more data that we can share about our reading goal and where we're at on our reading goal. So, one other item on there, just as other business, we do have Ms. Gann and Ms. Holmes, who are here this evening. Ms. Gann is the new principal at Dibble Elementary, and Ms. Holmes will be assuming the instructional coordinator's role there this year, moving out of our office, which is definitely a loss for us, but a gain for Dibble. And so that's a position that we won't be replacing here. And she will be greatly missed. And Sheila is a longtime teacher at Dibble and worked in intervention last year, and just wanted to introduce both of them to the board and in their new roles. And they're working hard to get things ready to go for school. So appreciate y'all being here.
Best of success.
Speech.
Two very pleasant educators.
They're welcome to give a
You
speech.
cannot get her back.
There you go.
Don't give her up.
There we go.
Sweet.
There we go.
And we look forward to working with our community, continue working with our community and with the board and the director of schools.
Really appreciate that. I think that's personnel report is in the packet. If you've got any questions, I'll try to answer any questions that you may have. You know, still ongoing hiring. You know, folks are, the deadline for retirement to get paid for your days is June 30. So we've had a few people wait and pick up paperwork, and that's got to be in by June 30. But we are continuing to do our hiring, and have been pretty successful in getting some folks that we felt like that are good teachers, and we're able to attract one of only 2 certified math teachers that came out of MTSU this year. So that's a good thing.
Excellent.
We're happy to have that person on board, and things are moving forward.
So how did you manage to get that highly recruited math teacher?
Well, that would be up to Mr. Walker. I don't know exactly how he did it, but he was successful. Let's just put it that way. I don't know what he
Whatever it takes.
what he did or anything like that, but he was able to attract them, and they did student teaching with us this year, so I think that kind of helped. So that's one of the good things about being able to allow student teachers to come into the system, that we can kind of build a rapport with them. So that kind of helped out.
I guess I'm on my soapbox a little bit, but for the math and science teachers, the language teachers, all of those hard to recruit teachers, I long for the day when our society, acting through state legislatures and maybe through Congress, will at least consider rewarding and supporting the education, the university education of those educators. Because if I understand correctly, we're just always right on the margin of being able to fill those positions.
Yeah, it's very difficult, very competitive right now, especially with math. You pretty much write your own ticket if you got a degree in math. You're going to get a job somewhere.
Right. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, exactly.
so that concludes my operations report, Madam Chairman.
Do I need to bring it? that action?
He already.
I did.
Oh, you already did, okay.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is Curriculum and Achievement Committee, Bill.
We have just very few items to present this evening, Madam Chairperson. The first item is on first reading, policy JLC, delivery of gifts. And this has the virtue of being the shortest policy in our whole policy manual. And it says the delivery and/or sale of all flowers, balloons, stuffed items, and similar gift items to students at any school in the Warren County school system is prohibited. Period. And that's it. Is there any change? I mean, that we've had this kind of policy, but is there any change?
We just added 2 students, the bolded items there, students at. Wanted to make sure that was clear. You know, from time to time, staff members may receive something.
Yeah.
We wanted staff members to be able to, you know, if somebody wanted to send them a gift, that they could do that. And, you know, a lot of times we want to curb I guess, those Valentine's Day and things of that type when we're just overrun, you know, with things. So we got with our principals and, you know, made that change.
But probably Mr. Bennett, from his experience at the high school, could comment on what it's like to have a full lobby have a lobby filled with those remembrances.
Especially if somebody didn't get what they was called in there for.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought all those were for Mr. Bennett.
Oh, you thought all that was Mr. Bennett? Okay.
That word.
Well, I think we're legitimately in support of JLC, so I'm going to move for adoption on first reading of policy action JLC.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, thank you. Just 2 other items. These are on second reading, and we visited with these in the last board meeting, and that's policies CGL, administrative and supervisory transfers, and JGFGA, driver's license revocation. And I think the only significant change as far as the advisory and supervisory transfers, personnel transfers, the language at the discretion of the director of schools.
Mhm. That's correct.
Okay. And then on driver's license revocation, as I understand it, Robin, this gets us aligned with the change in state law.
Yes.
Okay. And it says a student shall be deemed academically deficient if he or she has not received passing grades in at least, now it's 3 full subjects or their equivalency at the end of the semester grading.
This was as a result of us going to 7 periods. We
Oh.
initially said 4,
Right.
because the majority of it state law says 3, so we have to have
Okay.
3.
Okay. Very good. Well, I will propose then if we can get a motion for adoption on second reading of JGFGA and CGL.
Do I have a second to approve these 2 policies on second reading?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. That's all we have, Madam Chairperson.
Okay, next up is Facilities and Resource Management. Ms. Bess?
Had a brief update. All 3 contracts are signed and fully executed for our 3 projects. The high school, the awning has been removed to the bus ramp. The wellness center has been staked off, so you can at least see the size of the building. Asbestos has been removed from Bobby Ray and Irving College. The projects are moving along quite well. The permitting is complete for all 3 projects. And lastly, the annual surplus auction at the high school will be July the 23rd. And that's all I have.
So you had no motions come out of committee that we need to approve?
No.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other committee reports that we need to talk about? Any other business?
I do have one other item. Our budget should be, it's passed through all committees. It will go to the floor of the commission on the next regular meeting in July. in the consolidated budget. There was one change that due to the reappraisal that I probably need to get just a point of clarity and get the board's approval on. The property, due to the reappraisal and the certified tax rate, we figured our budget on 57.30 cents. The reappraisal dropped it to 57.26 cents. So that's a $194 change. So in our property tax item, we would have $194 less, and in our ending balance, we'd have $194 less. So, I mean, that's just a point of clarity. Probably just need, just for, get everything approved, that we have the board's approval to go ahead and make that change due to the property tax reappraisal. So, just probably need to get approval for that.
We have a motion, well, we need a motion to approve the budget change due to the property tax reappraisal. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
So values went down.
Well, due to the reappraisal, the tax rate went down, so virtually the same amount of money, but, 3 cents, 4 cents, well, portion of a cent less.
What this means is if I understand, Bobby, the what they call the natural growth,
Mm-hmm.
added property, increased values of property, would normally give us a little bit of a bounce, even if the tax levy were kept at exactly the same figure, formal figure. If they adopt the certified rate, which is kind of a stand-in-place rate, it puts you back at net tax generation.
Mm-hmm.
The aggregate of taxes you're expected to collect, back to what it was before the natural growth. So if I understand this correctly, we're not going to get the advantage of that growth. Is that right?
We'll get the, the same dollar figure that we put in our budget.
Right, the same dollar figure,
Yeah.
but we did not get a bonus with the growth.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, a little bit of that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but virtually the same dollar figure. I mean, we built our budget on 57.30 cents. And, the readjustment was 57.26 cents.
Okay.
So, less than
Yeah, it's very minor.
I mean, $194 either way. And I think we, probably made that up in sales tax revenue. We brought in, I hadn't seen the final figures, but I think at one point we were $300,000-$400,000 above estimate. And we increased our sales tax figure 3%. We were about 4% above our estimate, and we increased it 3%, and that's what passed in the budget. So yeah, I mean, we're getting more on that estimate, provided we collect that. So it's all at an estimate at this point in time. If we collect more in property tax than our estimate, then we'll get that more than that amount. Same way with sales tax.
Okay, and that's the local option
Yeah,
sales tax.
right. So it's just
the portion that's left to the school system
Yeah.
after the city of McMinnville
Mhm.
gets its.
Yeah, the cut. Yeah,
It's
and
cut, yeah.
And so I think our bottom line was more this year than what it was last year, as estimated, provided everything comes in.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the change to the budget due to the property tax reappraisal. Do I have, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Any other business?
That's it.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I didn't think nobody wanted to adjourn.
I didn't think they did either.